welcome into Corporate Women Rising. This is a summit where I've brought together top experts to reveal their 3 secrets on supporting you to break through old money mindset and start creating your wealth legacy today. Today. I'm Jill Hyman. I am your host for this epic journey. I am a mindset mentor and vision coach, and I support corporate women just like you to find clarity and connect to your vision so it becomes your new reality. And today I am joined by the lovely, lovely Susan Howell. Hello, welcome in.
Hi.
So Susan is a money coach, financial educator, and you may see her around out and about. She's also known as the Money Maestra, which automatically connected me to her. Like I was like, I love this. I need to know more. And that's why we're here, because you all get to know more about her secrets and just her story. So I'm so grateful you're here.
Thank you.
Tell us, Susan, how are you where you are now? Like, what was your whole money story to get you to now really support and educate people around this?
Okay, yes, my story started in Manchester, Connecticut. And I know that everyone thinks of Connecticut as like a wealthy place. Well, I grew up in the poor part of Connecticut. And I grew up, I was the last of 5 children. And my family was poor. My father worked a very blue collar job. My mother did not work. She did not drive. She had no money of her own. And my father struggled with alcohol. And so there was that addiction brought into the whole scene. So a lot of our money went to that. And what little money we had didn't go to, our family. And so I saw at a very young age how my mom struggled just to get by. And we did get by. We grew a garden. My father was like a gatherer. We had beautiful food. We did, but we were poor and very little money for anything extra. And we lived in a not very nice duplex, a very rundown duplex. And I realized early on, I didn't want this to be my life. And somewhere deep inside me, from a young girl, I said, I'm going to do this differently. And I was the kid with the paper route, the babysitting, the pet sitting. I had a job as soon as I was 16. I waitressed when I was 18. And I was the first person in my family to go to college. And I broke the cycle. And that is the beginning of my story. And then it goes from there.
I'm just like holding this because there's so many of you out there watching that I know can resonate, or you're literally in that. You're breaking that generational pattern to create your legacy. And I'm just so honored to have you here and to share your secrets that have supported your clients and now this amazing audience. I like that we start with money story, and this has such an impact on our current day reality of what is the story. And so one of your secrets is about money story and how it can affect your life. And so I'd love for you to share more about how can we uncover our personal money story, and then what is a money story and all the ways that it can actually support us in getting some clarity around this.
Yes. The money story is so important. And what I tell people, I tell my clients is we all have a money story playing in our head. Is yours serving you or hindering you? And I say, listen, if I had believed my money story, I would still be poor. I would probably not have a college education. A lot of the young girls in my neighborhood ended up in places I did not want to be. And I witnessed that because I was one of the younger girls in the neighborhood. And so if I had believed that money story, I would not be where I am today, which is retired at the age of 50, financially free, getting ready to go to Sweden in 2 weeks or less than 2 weeks, so much goodness. So what I did is, and I'm thankful that I had this, call it resiliency, will, spirit to say, no, this is not going to be my life. And I really embodied that from a young age and decided I would make choices that served a different money story. And I always believed in me. And somehow I got it that this is a story. I don't need to believe that I'm going to be poor. And my goal was to break the cycle. Let me be the one that says enough. And so if you believe a money story that's not serving you, you can shift it because it is just a story. So, and I give people examples. I'm like, do you have something in your head that says, I'm never going to be able to retire. I'm going to work until I die. I don't know how to invest. Money's difficult. I don't like money. I'm not good at math. Whatever that story, or this is how it's been always been done in my family, whatever your story is, you have to stop and figure it out. And we all know it. We might not want to acknowledge it, but if we get still, and I think stillness is a part of everything, and I put meditation and stillness into my money practices, if we get still and we figure out what our story is, and then we ask ourselves honestly, is this serving me? And if it's not, flip it. And that is I call it flip the switch. The power resides within each one of us. I know this to be true 100%. It's what I work on with my clients. Besides money, the mechanism of money and the numbers, we work on mindset. What are you doing to empower your mindset to make money show up and work better for you in your life? So the money story is like the beginning. Figure out what your story is. Is it serving you? If it is, great, build on it. If it's not serving you, flip it and then work on building your money story so that it serves you.
Yeah, I am huge. It's huge. That's such a huge step. And I am pretty sure that most of you out there that might be watching are probably here because you do have the awareness that there is a story playing on repeat that is not serving. And I see it often. I mean, I was in corporate America sales, high achiever, hitting all my making great money, and yet scarcity. There's not going to be enough. Grasping on so tightly in like overwhelming savings mode of like, and that just creates fear. And so I'm also curious how then this affects, right? So if we are in this story, that for me, right, was like, it feels like that in our body. And how's it going to affect, because there's a cause and effect for everything. How's it going to affect our life when we really decide to flip the switch?
Yeah. And so what I would say is, and I love that you use the term scarcity, because I really do think a lot of us either live in the scarcity story or the abundance story. And it doesn't matter really what your bank account says. You can still have a good bank account, a great job, and you're still living in money scarcity. Oh, I want to make more money. I'm not going to have enough. Listen, I have no qualms about goals of making a lot of money. I want to have a lot of money. I've been working my whole life to build my wealth and leave a wealth legacy. I want to generationally change my family, and I'm doing it, and it feels really good. So what I say is, remember that the abundance is in you. It's not in a dollar figure. It's not in a job, because things can change. And it's interesting that you use grasping. I was just recently talking with a dear friend of mine who is a Buddhist Lama, and she gave a talk about grasping, and that we try to grasp things that are always changing. So how can you grasp something that is always changing? And then she says, and I think this is so beautiful, that we want to fix things in space and time. But when we do that, we create a fixation. And that just resonated with me so strongly from Lama Karma Chotso. And it's like, our money story is going to change. Our money numbers are going to change right now with the markets. If I was caught up in scarcity and I was looking at my investment account like I did last week, I would be in a state of fear, but I'm not. Because one, this is a ride, the market's a ride. And I also have layers of security. So I don't have all my eggs in one basket. And I know, because I have a plan and because I believe in the abundance in myself, that this is all going to work out. So it is about planning and having financial levels of security and diversifying. It is about all of that, but it is also about getting rid of that negative money mindset and saying, I am enough. And once you say, I am enough, then the abundance kicks in. And I'll tell you, when I'm in abundance mindset, which I am 99% of the time, I'm in abundance mindset, I can think of ways to make money. I tell my clients, listen, there are so many ways to make money out there. I'm a money coach, I'm a financial educator, but I was a special agent for 22 years. So I also do some consulting on the side for the legal field, and I can be an expert witness on financial matters and corruption cases. Then I sell vintage items because it's like a hobby to me. But if I need to make a little extra money, I'll just buy and sell vintage items. It is unbelievable when you open your mind how you can flow money into and through you. The thing is, too, people get stuck, like the saving mentality. Like, I have to have X amount. And it's all, if you start the focus on me, that's where you start to lose the abundance. The abundance is money comes to you and flows through you. And I tell my clients, listen, it isn't about saving for the retirement when you're 65 and you may or may not have great health to enjoy it. It is about living in the now, having a beautiful life right now, and preparing for your future. I did it, and it wasn't difficult, but you have to be committed to the process and committed to yourself. So positive money mindset is to me the foundation of having money in your life in a positive way, having a lot of money in your life, and opening up the channels of abundance. So
Yeah, that's your second secret is the positive money mindset. And I mean, what are a couple just easy things that anyone out there watching that we could start implementing into our day right after this, right after we get done watching this?
So one of the things I do every morning is, and whatever suits you, I have readings that inspire me every morning before I jump out of bed and start the roll of the day. I take some time, probably 5 or 10 minutes. I read inspirational things that mean something to me. I have a gratitude practice every morning. What am I grateful for? Number one is I got up today, I'm healthy, I'm free, but start in that tone. And when you start in the tone of abundance, you bring that into your life throughout the day and with the people you meet. And one of the things, when I was an agent, I used to say, people used to request me to work on cases with them. And somebody asked me one time, well, why do people call and say, can you assign Susan to this case? I said, because one, I know what I'm doing and I'm competent, because that's a bottom line. But two, it's my attitude. People like to work with someone that is nice, first of all, because you don't have to be not nice just to do a good job, and that has the ability to believe in abundance, whatever it is, whether I'm working a criminal case or I'm helping a client with their monthly budget. It all comes from a place of positive mindset and believing in yourself. So to me, start your day with a practice, whatever that is. And I'm going to get into this a little bit later, but I believe in budgeting 100%. And I also believe in something called pay yourself first. And this is a simple way to put you on positive mindset. I am important and my life is important, and I am going to actually pay myself first, which for me meant at age 23, I started socking away money in my 401k and planning for my retirement in age 23. When you do that and you have a lifetime ahead of you, the process is easy. But so many people don't pay themselves first. So if there's one thing you can do right now that's actually monetary and number wise, it's pay yourself first. Open a retirement account, open an IRA, contribute to your 401k. If your employer has a 401k and matches, at least contribute the match. Create an emergency account for yourself. Bank on you and pay yourself first. So 2 tips that I would give is start your day on a positive tone, whatever that means to you, and then pay yourself first. Even if it's a little bit in the beginning, if that's all you can afford, the more you can afford, the more you pay yourself first. So those would be 2 of my have to do tips.
Yeah, what's coming in is you're saying pay yourself first because that can be a plethora of ways. So you might
Mhm.
be getting little nudges of what you could do to pay yourself first. I know I had a period of my life where paying myself was investing in myself by reaching out and getting a coach. And then, therapist, different healing modalities. And so I just also want to put that in of like, yes,
Yes,
we're talking retirement and 401k and all of these things, but you might not be able to fully receive the abundance if you are in a space where it's definitely time for you to invest in yourself in a way that you haven't, that gets to feel
right.
stretchy, because it's just that exact same thing. I mean, every single time I've invested in myself and released the unknown and that grasping,
Yes.
there has been an amplitude I can't even tell you, which I know you've experienced too, Susan, and you all probably have yourself out there. You just might not even think about it. Like, so I want to like put that in there for the pay at first can mean a lot of different things.
Yes, 100%. And for me, I do invest in myself in other ways than, that was one example, correct? The 401k, the emergency fund, retirement, do that. But also, what is it that you need and want to move yourself forward? And for me, I pick things, whether it's a class, whether it's a workshop, whether it's a coach. And then I think about how is this going to basically pay me dividends in the future? And over, it does. And so many of my connections have been made through workshops I've taken, classes I've taken, people I've worked with. So, yes, pay yourself first is multiple things, but get into that mindset of I am valuable. I am my greatest asset. I am my solution. And when we make that connection, I mean, really limitless. You open the gates, you open the floodgates. And sometimes I say, you don't even know what's going to come your way. It could be so good. So get rid of the fear, jump into the unknown, and know that there's never totally unknown because what's known is you. You're bringing yourself to it. So you're bringing a known that you can bank on to the unknown. And yeah, so pay yourself first, whatever that looks like to you. But definitely it needs to be in the plan.
Mm. Planning, planning, planning. This is a key thing, and it's what I work with my clients on in regards to their vision, right? And
Right.
it's so funny. Like I have a client right now that's kind of struggling to write it down. And
Mhm.
it's around the fear of it seems so big. I don't know how I'll get there. Great. Because if you're not having that question of like, this seems too big, I mean, I have some really lofty goals for myself in the next 2 years. And I will catch myself being like, I have no idea. And then it's just getting truthful to myself. I have no idea how this is going to happen, but there's power in planning. And so I want you to offer this. Your final secret number 3 is around budgeting. And budgeting is planning. Like this is planning. It doesn't have to feel like a tight thing. I mean, I touch and feel. This is with Shift for me. I touch and feel my money at least once, if not twice to 3 times every week because I'm in it. Like I just want to see, I want to feel. And so walk us through how to start with this if we're not, and if we are, how to fine tune.
Okay. So to me, a monthly budget is, it starts with mindset, and then you have to get into some of the fundamentals. And one of the fundamentals is what I call the key building block is a monthly budget. Because if you don't know where your money's going, your money's going to walk away. And a budget puts you in control of your money. And I call it, I've heard people say, oh, budget is boring. I don't like to work with the numbers. I don't have time. And I said, oh, no, no, no. A budget, I call it the beauty of a budget. And to me, this is what a budget does. When I take the time and the energy to first create a budget, which is one of the things I do with my clients. I have a program that's budget like a boss. You don't know how to do it? Hire me, I'll get you in line, and then I'll teach you how to do it. It's not difficult. But some people have what you talked about. I don't want to write it down because if I write it down, then it's real. Then I know I have too much credit card debt. Then I know I'm living above my means. And what I say is, okay, so would you rather progress through life with your head in the sand or your eyes wide open? And what a budget does is it just says, I'm going to open my eyes to where I am financially. And the other thing that people forget is money is connected to so many things. Money is not in a box. Money infuses every relationship we're in, including, most importantly, the relationship with ourselves. And when we're aligned with money and the way we're using and working money in our life, it also helps us align the rest of our life and the rest of our relationships. So what I tell people is, when you take the time and the energy to create a budget, what you are ultimately doing is creating space and freedom and liberation in your life. 100%.
Liberation.
Liberation. And when you think of a budget like that, you said you're touching money like 3 times a week. I touch my money. I don't want to say every night because I miss once in a while, but for me, it makes sense to just track my money for the day and then pop it in my budget at night. And I do that every night or two. And so if somebody asks me mid month, hey, let's go to this event, I'm going to look at my budget and say, okay, yeah, great. I have plenty of money in that category. Or no, I don't. I really want to go. So I'm going to shift something else. But if I didn't know that, then what happens? I go to the event, I overspend, and I get a credit card bill that I wasn't expecting. And this happens no matter what level of income you have. I tell people a budget works if you're making $20,000 a year or $2 million a year. You still have to budget your money. We all know the stories of people that are multimillionaires and then they have nothing. And I'm going to bet they didn't have a budget. And so to me, that's what a budget is. It's telling your money where to go. It's making you in charge. It's neutralizing money and putting the power back in your hands. And that is so empowering. I mean, it's simple too. Once you learn how to do it, I mean, I spend so little time on it now. I just have a template. I change it monthly in the end of the month or the first day of the new month. I tweak it a little bit and then I work it. And it takes me minimal time, but at all times, I know exactly where I am with my money. And I'll call that freedom, liberation, and the ability to move forward in my life, knowing I am in alignment and I am financially secure. So
Mm.
to me, a budget is necessity.
It's almost like as you were talking, I feel that it will, not could, it will open up if you have anxiety or if
Yes.
there's like the panicky, fluttery feeling around it. Yes, there will be that in the beginning, but
Mhm.
as you get closer and clearer and you'll be sitting there looking at this spreadsheet in a place of power. So I can see how the flip gets to happen.
Yeah, and it doesn't. I
Um,
love that you mentioned that people get nervous sometimes or there's anxiety. That's normal. And I work with my clients on this sometimes, and it's you're a coach too. Yes, I do numbers, but I'm really more a coach of like, how do we go through the numbers? If this is bringing you anxiety, why is it bringing you anxiety? And this is what I tell people, which I think is key, is whether you do the budget or not, it's still there. You're just ignoring it. So when you ignore something that isn't right and in your mind, it's not right, it's going to come up again. It's going to fester and it's going to be in a worse place. And I tell people, I don't care where you are. I don't care if you're $50,000 in debt, $200,000 in debt. We start where you are now with what you have now. And we work from this point and move forward. So again, a budget to me, essential building block of a financial plan for yourself and especially if you want to create legacy wealth.
I say that all the time, Susan, is start where you are with what you have. Just start.
Just
Just
start.
start.
Yeah.
So maybe today it could be like one simple step is maybe just opening the spreadsheet, saving
Yeah.
it, and saying my budget, and that's as far as you get. Amazing first step. And then
Yes.
tomorrow you go in and maybe start putting your expenses, or you reach out to Susan to actually get some information about how to budget. But it's like just start with what you can with where you are. I love you said that. I say it all the time. Such great, such great tips and practices that are just, they feel literally so practical. So I'm so grateful for you. We covered the money story and the power of positive mindset, and then finally budgeting. And they all just weave together like a beautiful piece that is you, me, Susan. We're each just enough. And these are just tools to support us. And Susan, I'm so grateful you're here. And you are just so amazing. You have a pretty cool gift for everyone out there watching. What is this gift?
Okay, so the gift is I've created something called the Money Maestro Ready, Set, Go monthly budget worksheet. And it plays on what I was just talking about. It's digital. And what you do is it's a lot of information, and most of it won't apply to you because I've tried to think of every expense that somebody could have. And I've done it in categories: housing, transportation, childcare, uh, insurance. And then I ask you to just take it, print it out, or do it digitally, and then track your expenses. Take a month and track your expenses. Don't feel the pressure. And then just write it on the line, either on your computer, or if you feel better printing it. And then you do the same for your income. And I know as an entrepreneur, I have multiple sources of income. So I literally do have to track my income. And so you track your expenses and you track your income. And then you have the basis for creating a monthly budget. And that's what, when I work with my clients, I give them this spreadsheet that I created and said, do this, track it for a month, and then let's schedule an appointment to actually work on your budget. So it's getting real with yourself and no pressure. Tried to make it as user-friendly as possible and just see where you are. So I invite you to download that and work with the Ready, Set, Go monthly budget worksheet.
And it's right here. You all can just click the link, access it, and I love it. I'm gonna have to go grab it so I can compare where mine's at and like tweak it. So amazing to have you here. I am just so grateful for your wisdom that you offered.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to be here. This is my passion to like share what I know with people. And I really, and especially, women, we are coming on into our own in money matters. And it hasn't been that recent. I mean, the Equal Opportunity Credit Act was in 1974. So women having full money rights are pretty darn recent. So I want to do everything in my power to empower us, to empower everybody. But in particular, I have a very soft spot for women and empowering women in financial matters. So I hope you enjoy the Ready, Set, Go, and I hope it works for you. And it's been my absolute pleasure to be here. Thank you, Jill.
Thank you,
Thank
Susan.
you.
Don't forget to grab the amazing gift that Susan just offered around budgeting. I know I'm excited to go check my budget to this because I'm sure I'm missing some things. And connect with your money story. How powerful. What a powerful place of empowerment to get to connect to your money story, like we just were conversating about. And you get to build the life that is inside of you, that you're getting these ideas, these visions, this internal like knocking. It's for you to create. You just get to say yes. But if you are feeling yourself in a bit of a swamp with current circumstances, your current reality, and you're just really longing for something else other than what your day to day is, I'm here for you. I'm offering a free clarity session to connect so you can leave feeling rejuvenated and feeling the possibilities that are available for your life. So you can click the link at the bottom of this page to claim your call with me. And I can't wait to hear about this vision that you are dreaming of and building for your life. I'll see you next time.